Welcome to The Sleepy Story, where tales shine like raindrops and piano notes in a gentle Oklahoma night. Cozy up, let the soothing rain and soft music cradle you, and step into a new story from a resilient town in Oklahoma. In a rainy Oklahoma, town where books hold dreams and hope, a librarian shelves more than stories. This is the story of Lila, the librarian, and the hope she cultivated to overcome adversity. The rain fell in a steady murmur, cloaking Prairie View, Oklahoma, in a silver mist. Its rhythm blending with the soft piano melody Lila imagined as she shelved books. She stood in the library, the air thick with the scent of old pages and polished wood, her cardigan speckled with raindrops. Her hands moved quietly, sliding a novel into place, its cover worn but cherished in the September dusk. Through the library's window, oak trees swayed, their leaves catching the rain, and the neon sign of the nearby diner flickered. Lila adjusted her scarf, the book's weight grounding her, and sighed. This was her world, rich with stories yet dimmed by loss, where hope waited in the turn of a page. Prairie View was a tight-knit town, its main street lined with a feed store, a barber shop, and a community center, its life woven with church suppers, harvest fairs, and high school football. Lila had been its librarian for 8 years, curating books, hosting story hours, and repairing bindings for neighbors. Her days were full, shelving, reading, organizing, but her heart felt heavy, her spirit dulled by grief. She'd lost her brother to illness a year ago, and the town's library faced budget cuts, threatening closure. Hope felt like a light too faint, and she stuck to routine tasks, hiding her pain. Her apartment, a cozy loft above the library, was a haven of quiet and order. Inside, the air smelled of coffee and ink, the walls lined with book plates, a faded quilt, and a hawk's feather. A small desk held a half-mended book, a journal of library ideas tucked nearby, and a lantern cast, a warm glow, its light dancing with the rain's patter and the piano's imagined lilt. Lila lit a candle, brewed tea, its steam curling like a breath, and sat, a bookmark idle. The rain's song and piano's notes her companions. Lila hadn't always been so withdrawn. In Tulsa, where she'd studied library science, she'd been vibrant, dreaming of a library that sparked community joy. But her brother's death and the library's struggles had dimmed her. The town's whispers of closure, a wound she couldn't shake. She'd stayed in Prairie View to honor his memory, but routine buried her hope. The townsfolk were kind, but Lila kept to her books, afraid optimism would fail her. A knock broke the quiet, soft against the rain's hum and piano's echo. Lila set the bookmark down, her pulse quickening. Visitors were rare after hours. She opened the door to find Marla, the diner owner, her apron damp, a thermos of soup in her hands. "Evening, Lila," Marla said, her gray hair flecked with rain, her smile warm. "Brought you some vegetable soup, fresh from the pot." Her eyes crinkled, raindrops on her coat. Lila took the thermos, its savory scent rising. "Thanks, Marla," she said, her voice soft. "You didn't need to come out in this." Marla shrugged, her apron rustling. "Wanted to. Your library's our heart, Lila." She glanced at the sky, rain glinting. "Storm's coming tomorrow. Got enough candles?" "I'm set," Lila said, her fingers tightening on the thermos. She wanted to invite Marla in to share the tea, but her grief held her back. Marla nodded, unfazed. "All right then. Keep shining." She turned, her boots splashing down the stairs. Lila closed the door, setting the soup on the desk. Its warmth steamed in the cool air, a small gift that felt like a flicker of light. Why had Marla come? Her library was her job, not a bridge to others. She pushed the thought aside, stoking the candle, but the soup lingered, its heat a quiet question in the rain's melody and piano's soft notes. Morning dawned gray, the rain heavier, drumming on the loft's roof, its rhythm weaving with the piano's imagined lilt. Lila woke to the hum of Main Street, its shops stirring, and dressed in her oilskin coat. The library was her first stop, its shelves neat, a story hour planned. She arranged chairs, their wood creaking, but noticed a flaw. The library's roof leaked, a bucket catching drips. It was a minor fix, but a sign of the budget cuts, and Lila's chest tightened. Her work was her worth, and decline felt like failure. She'd need repair funds, but the town council was skeptical. Jake, the feed store owner, might know a roofer. She walked to Main Street, the pavement slick, the rain soaking her scarf. The town was hushed, shop signs dim against the storm. At the feed store, the air smelled of hay and leather, and Jake was stacking sacks, his flannel shirt rolled up. "Need a roofer for the library," Lila said, brushing rain from her coat. "Got a leak. Know anyone cheap?" Jake set a sack down, his grin quick. "Got a buddy who roofs. I'll call him." He poured coffee, its steam warm. "Come in, dry off. That library's a gem." Lila hesitated, the rain's hum and piano's notes urging her. "Thanks," she said, cradling the mug. "The leak's small, but the cuts, they're killing us." Jake nodded, his eyes kind. "Hope's stronger than cuts. Keep fighting." He slid a small leather bookmark, stamped with a star, across the counter. "For your books." Lila left, the bookmark warm in her pocket, the rain now a steady pour. The street was slick, the EDD oaks drooping. She contacted the roofer, her hands steady, but her despair weighed heavy. The rain's song and piano's melody urging her to see the library's light. Marla's soup, Jake's bookmark. Why did they offer these? She'd done nothing but shelved their books, nothing to earn their care. That night, the storm hit, the rain a roar, the piano's echo a faint comfort in Lila's mind. She sat by the candle, the fire's glow flickering, the leaking roof on her mind. The soup, the bookmark, they were small, but they hinted at hope, at a light beyond her grief. Desmond Tutu's words, read in a worn book, surfaced. Hope is being able to see that there is light despite all of the darkness. Lila had lost her spark, but the town was offering a chance to shine if she could find the strength. The storm passed by dawn, leaving Prairie View sodden. The rain now a soft drizzle, its hum blending with the piano's imagined notes. Lila stepped outside, the air sharp with wet leaves and dust, the diner's neon buzzing. The library was a mess, books damp, a shelf tipped. Lila's routine was her anchor, but Marla's soup, Jake's bookmark, they were threads pulling her toward hope, toward light she'd forgotten. She set to work, drying books, writing the shelf, the rain's song and piano's melody guiding her hands. The town stirred, shop signs flickering, pickups rumbling. Lila's task was clear, but the leaking roof lingered, a reminder of her despair. She could patch it cheaply, but Jake's words, "Keep fighting," echoed, urging her to rally the town for funds. Frustration flared, small but sharp, her old grief creeping in. She wanted her library safe, but the storm had other plans. Voices approached, warm against the drizzle. Marla appeared, with Jake and young Ellie, the barbershop's apprentice, carrying rags and a basket of muffins. "Morning, Lila," Marla called, her apron damp. "Thought your library could use a hand. Storm made a mess." Lila paused, her cloth mid-wipe. "You don't have to." "We want to," Jake cut in, his smile firm, his rag drying a shelf. "Your books lift us, Lila. Let us help." They worked together, the rain's hum and piano's notes a backdrop. Jake stacked books, his stories of torn feed bags making Lila chuckle. Ellie wiped tables, her laughter bright, and handed Lila a muffin, its blueberry warmth rich. Marla shared a tale of a spilled soup pot, her giggle warm. Lila listened, her cloth moving, her chest loosening. Their small acts, drying, sharing, laughing, eased her grief, making hope a shared spark. By noon, the library gleamed, the damp books saved. They stood together, dust-streaked, as Lila set, a lantern on a shelf, its glow defiant. Ellie gave her a small oak leaf, its edges damp. "For your desk," she said, her grin shy. Lila took it, her throat tight. "Thanks," she said, the word heavy with warmth. The townsfolk left, their voices fading, but their help lingered. She returned to the loft, the leaf on the desk beside Marla's soup, Jake's bookmark, the muffin's scent, the rains. Song was softer now, the piano's melody clearer, carrying a truth. Hope could shine if she embraced it. The town festival was a week away, and Lila felt a spark. She'd always stayed away, afraid her grief would show. But the townsfolk's help, their small gifts, made her wonder. Maybe hope wasn't in hiding, but in rallying others. She tried a bold move, planning a library fundraiser at the festival. The act, a quiet thrill, the rain's song and piano's notes urging her forward. The evening of the festival arrived, the rain a gentle mist, the piano's melody a quiet hum in Lila's mind. Main Street blazed with booths, lanterns and crowds, the air alive with barbecue smoke and music. Lila stood by the library, a Save Our Library booth glowing, the leaf tucked into her scarf, a clean cardigan chosen for courage. The rain's patter and piano's echo pushed her onward. She joined the festival, the crowd's energy electric, fiddle strums, laughter, the clink of soda cans. Marla waved her to a booth, her smile wide. "Lila, you're here," she called, offering a plate of cornbread, its buttery warmth rich. Jake was there, selling feed, and Ellie danced in the crowd, her oak leaf crown askew. Lila shared her fundraiser, its sign-drawing eyes, the rain and piano weaving through the cheers. The townsfolk donated, their support a gift. And she ate, the cornbread's warmth grounding her. When Jake called for a story, the crowd turned to Lila. "You keep our stories, Lila. What's one you love?" he said, his eyes kind. Lila's pulse raced, but the leaf, the soup, the bookmark gave her strength. "I used to hide in my grief," she said, her voice low but clear. "Thought hope was gone, but you all, your help, your muffins, this festival, showed me there's light. This library, it's ours." The words were simple, but they were hers. Marla clapped, Jake nodded, Ellie whooped. The townsfolk listened, their warmth a spark, hope blooming in their smiles. Lila's chest lightened, the rain's song and piano's melody a quiet celebration. She'd kindled hope, and it had lit the night. Autumn deepened in Prairie View, the oaks golden against starry skies, the rain a constant whisper, its rhythm entwined with the piano's soft notes Lila carried. Her loft became a tapestry of hope, a can of festival soda on the shelf, Ellie's leaf on the desk, Marla's thermos in a cupboard. The library stood, but Lila's purpose was shifting, drawn to the town, to moments that overcame adversity. She lingered on Main Street now, sharing her radiant spark. She helped Marla stock diner menus, their chatter over torn pages, a shared thrill. She joined Jake to sort feed, his tales of spilled sacks warming her. She taught Ellie to mend books, her delight a mirror to Lila's own. Each act was a gift, bright and bold, the rain's song and piano's melody guiding her. One October morning, the town planned a book festival inspired by Lila's fundraiser. They wanted stories to shine, a celebration of shared hope. Leela worked with the townsfolk, her voice steadier now, suggesting reading booths, community story hours. The rain fell softly, its hum blending with the piano's echo, her optimism growing. With each hopeful choice, but a challenge arose. The town council, still skeptical, threatened to cut the library's funding again, demanding proof of community support. Leela got the letter during a morning check, the stakes high. Her old grief flared, her hopes' worth questioned. But the IB townsfolk's help, their small acts, pushed her to fight. She went to Main Street, the rain heavier, the piano's notes a faint comfort, and found Marla at the diner. "Council's cutting funds again," Lila said, her voice firm. "Need help with the petition. Know anyone?" Marla nodded, her spatula pausing. "Got folks who will sign. I'll spread the word." She called Jake, who brought paper, and Ellie, who offered a kid's pen for signatures. They worked through the day, the rain's song and piano's melody a backdrop. Jake gathered names, Marla rallied diners, Ellie wrote slogans, their laughter rising. Lila led, her pen drafting a plea, their teamwork turning threat into possibility. By dusk, the petition was full, support clear, a sign of shared hope. The festival arrived, the rain a soft mist, the piano's echo clear in Lila's mind. Maine. Street buzzed with books, novels, comics, journals, lanterns glowing, booths bright. Lila stood by the library, the petition delivered, Ellie's leaf in her pocket. Townsfolk read, their boots tapping, their voices electric. Marla called the crowd, her voice bright. "Lila's our light. Let's hear from her." Lila took a breath, the rain and piano urging her. "I used to see only darkness," she said, her voice clear. "Thought hope was lost. But you all, your help, your kindness, taught me to find the light. This library, this festival, it's ours," the crowd roared, their faces alight, hope woven in their cheers. Jake hugged her, Marla clapped, Ellie danced. Lila's heart pounded, the rain's song and piano's melody, a celebration of shared resilience. Winter settled over Prairie View, snow dusting the oaks, the creek icing over, the rain now a memory in the frost, though its song and the piano's soft notes lingered in Lila's mind. Her loft glowed with warmth, the hearth crackling, new treasures on the shelves, Marla's petition page, Jake's paper stack, Ellie's kid pen. The library stood, but Lila was no longer just its keeper. She was part of the town, her hope rooted in its moments. She joined the townsfolk often, sharing her radiant warmth. She helped Ellie host story hours, their talk of torn pages a spark. She sat with Marla, sorting books, their stories of spilled soup a bond. She walked with Jake, pointing out winter frost, their breath fogging in the cold. Each act, each hope, was a note in the resilience she'd found. The rain's melody and piano's echo her guide. One snowy evening, the town planned a winter reading night, a smaller echo of the festival. Leela suggested sharing stories, each person offering a tale of light. The rain was gone, but its song lived in her courage, the piano's notes in her voice. She felt her purpose, not in routine shelving, but in the laughter, the kindness, the hope that shaped her days. The reading night arrived, Main Street aglow, with lanterns, snow falling softly, the piano's echo a quiet hum in Lila's mind. The library shone, its shelves proud. Lila stood by a podium, her lantern steady, townsfolk filling the room, their coats dusted with snow, their voices warm. "Lila, start us," Jake called, his scarf tight. Lila smiled, the snow soft under her boots, the piano's melody clear. "I used to live in darkness," she said, her voice steady. "But you taught me hope is light. Your help, your stories, these books. Let's share that." She shared the petition story, the townsfolk adding theirs, Marla's burned pie, Jake's torn sack, Ellie's lost pen. Lila spoke of the leaking roof, the festival's thrill, the hope she'd found. The crowd nodded, their warmth a gift, resilience woven in every tale. The lanterns glowed, the piano's echo in Lila's heart a celebration. Winter deepened, but Lila's world was radiant. She hosted Marla for tea, their stories filling the loft. She helped Jake clear snow, their laughter rising. She taught Ellie to bind books, their pages imperfect but theirs. The library hummed, each book a call to hope, to the light that mattered. One frosty night, as Lila locked the library, she looked to Main Street, its lights twinkling through the snow. She'd once thought grief was her world, her books enough. But the townsfolk, with their soup, their bookmarks, their stories, had shown her otherwise. Tutu's words echoed, "Hope is being able to see that there is light despite all of the darkness." Lila had seen it, and it had built a home. She crossed the street, the snow crunching, the lantern's glow faint, the piano's melody and rain's song forever in her heart. Voices waited to welcome her, and Lila knew she'd keep cultivating hope, one radiant page at a time. Cultivating hope to overcome adversity transforms darkness into light, empowering you to rise above challenges and inspire others to find their own strength in the face of hardship.